Hello everyone, welcome back to the Godot series. In this video I'll be going to make a file structure and make scenes. So let's make a 2D scene and we're going to make this the main scene. So this one has a node, and nodes are the building blocks of scenes. Each node, the node 2D is the most simplest 2D node. We're going to name it main and we're going to save it as main. And now you have a main scene. To make this like the actual main scene, you gotta right click it and set as main scene, and this will make it so that when we press run, it's gonna run this scene. Afterwards, let's make the player. So there's two ways of making another scene. You can add a new scene and then name it and do all that, or you can just set it up in a scene that you already have. So this is useful if you don't know if you're making like one shots or if you're just making like a prefab, you can do it on here, and if you need to copy it elsewhere, you can just make it into a scene. So we're gonna add a child node and we're gonna make this a character controller or character body. This will allow us to move using Godot physics. We're gonna set the motion mode to floating, so therefore it can like move with top-down precision rather than being like a 2D platformer. We're gonna right click this, add node, and we're gonna add a sprite 2D, and this will allow us to add visuals. Right now there's nothing much we can do, so we're just gonna drag in the icon as a placeholder, and that would be good for now. We're gonna right click it again and we're gonna add a collision shape. A collision shape is what allows you to interact with other physics objects, and to actually make it work we need to add a shape to the collision shape. So this is the inspector tab. You can play around the settings, see what it does, but for right now we're gonna add a shape. So we're gonna select this and add a new rectangle shape, and we're gonna make this into a square. So what I like to do, hold Alt and then drag it. Make sure it aligns with the pixels, and there we go. Now you have I believe a 64 by 64 pixel collision shape. I'm gonna go back, make sure you save often, Control S, save that. Next, what we need to do is make this into a scene. So we're gonna right click it, we're gonna save branch as scene, and we're gonna name this the player. So now you have the scene, which is dictated by this. So this is the scene, and you see that there's no like sprite or like the collision body, because that's all moved into the player scene. So you're gonna right click or double click on that, then you have this. So if you were to do like an adjustment, like let's say you want to move the texture and you save the scene, this is gonna reflect in any other scenes that you put the player in. Yeah, so that's done. That's a player. Now we need to add the coin. So I'm going to show you the other way of adding a scene, which is going here, adding a new scene, or you can press Control N. That works too. We're going to add a 2D scene, and we're going to call this the coin. Oops. Call this the coin. Actually, what we can do is, instead of having a node 2D, we can make this a static body. So right click, change type, and make this a static body 2D. What this will allow us to do is to have a physics object that you can interact with that doesn't move. So that's useful for stuff like coins or like bricks. So we're gonna need to add a sprite to that as well. So we're gonna add a sprite 2D, and we need a collision shape. So we're gonna add a collision shape 2D. Let's start with the sprite first. Let's see, what could we do? Let's do a gradient texture 2D. That works. You can mess around with the gradient if you want. And now you have this thing. Then we're gonna add collision shape. Let's make this into a circle collision shape. So even if the sprite is rectangle, it's only gonna interact if something goes inside of the circle. So that's cool. We're gonna save this as a coin, and there we go. So now if we go over here, there's nothing here because we didn't add it in. But if we drag the coin along, you'll see that there are coins, right? So since this is the main scene, this scene is gonna run when you press F5, when you press the play button. So let's press F5, and you can see the scene runs. Now you see the purple outline here, that's where the starting camera is. So let's adjust our scene so that the player is in the middle and there's coins around. Let's try out. There we go. So now you have a placeholder player and you have placeholder coins. We can't move yet. That'll be covered in the next few videos. Yeah, thanks for watching.